Hey, Marilyn, thanks for the lurk. Hello. Pardon me. What am I doing? I need to bring up a few things here before I can switch fully to my face. Right. What the? Pause the thing. There we are. Okay. Think I'm doing it. Think we've got it. Think I've got this and that. I do. Fantasticals. And there we go. Hi. Okay. I think, whoops, drawer's open. Ugh. Finally, man, I feel like it's been ages. It's been ages, huh? So, what was the other thing? I'm missing something else. I know. Oh, yeah. Okay. Man, it takes me forever to get everything. I should do all this before the stream. That'd be a really good idea. That'd be a great idea. Alright, cool. Shikama, what's up? Hello. Okay. How's it going, dude? How's the YouTube and business? How's all the everything? Question: how often does your content have to do with sex robots? I feel like that comes up a lot. You've been sick? Oh no. All right, well, I hope you're feeling better. Happy New Year to you. All right. Into here. Finally start doing something here that I can actually build out and turn into something the player can interact with and go to a new location and get their alchemy on. Okay, just specifically not on sex robots. I mean, the implication. Hey, it's Twitch Dog. What's up? Sup. New game, Patreon prototype. Yes. We good? You good? I'm good. People do it their robots instead of us. I mean, true. That, I think, is the right attitude if we are going to advance into a non-judgmental sex robot future. But we've all watched Futurama. We know what happens. Yeah, I'd agree. Oh, this place and apparently joined at least. Yay, Devstat, how you doing, dude? How are you? I'm building geometry. This is much further away from the door than I thought. Oh my god, where is it? There it is. Thought it was right there. It's just getting smaller and smaller as I move it to the door. Yeah, we're gonna, just for the sake of scalies in game. Doing all right. Who's that? The Cloud. Thank you very much, Fall. I hope it's Cloud. Maybe it's Cloud. I don't know. But I think it's Claude. Cloud. Maybe. What's been going on with you? Responsibility stuff, taxes stuff, and everything. One of the things with Mortuary Assistant doing better is I've got all these things I need to do now, right? Like I was operating as a sole proprietor, but with the things that I'm going to be doing in the coming year or two, along with like paying contractors and stuff like that, and just being overall better for all the stuff I create. I need to be doing more businessy things and having a more official entity and all that stuff. So I've been working on all that and taxi things and everything, being responsible. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. I gave 2 pronunciations, but I think Claude is the one I said. You adulting gross? Yeah. My adult responsibilities seem to grow. But these are good problems to have. I'm certainly not complaining. It's just a lot. I guess that's a complaint. But still, it's not a lot of complaining. It's a little bit of complaining. Yeah, like I said, I can't be all complainy. Yeah, I guess I'm just building these out, and importing this as one big old building set. So I guess we just build. In here. So I need like a window, and I'll do the little. Oh, why not? I'll model the little wood things. And what is this? Why is this like this? Gross. No. You can hire people to adult for you, yes, but I mean I am right on the edge of needing these things, so it's all in the works still. I do use QuickBooks and stuff, which for the time being works for my my needs, but obviously as things kind of progress, if I want to do more things, larger things, I'll need more stuff. But for forming my entity and everything, I'm meeting with a lawyer to do all this stuff and consult with them and make sure what the best solution is for my situation and my goals. So I'm doing all the right things. It just takes time. Also, those people cost money, and I'm still in I don't want to spend money mode. But I also know I can't do everything myself. This is, yes, it's a new game, but it's a prototype. Basically, for patrons, I am creating little mini prototype ideas that they get to play. And I think I'm at 256 text density. The idea is I've been very busy, but when tax season is over, I'm still working on it, but I'd like to put more time into it. The idea is to make a lot of little prototypes that patrons get to play, and then whichever ones sort of resonate with everybody and seem like it's a good idea, I may take that one and put it on itch and see if people like it there, see if a larger audience likes it, and then if they do, then that might become the next game, right? So the one I'm doing right now isn't necessarily oh yeah, this is the next thing, but it could be, you never know. But I doubt my first one is gonna be the one, That sounds awful. Yes, I know how to use spreadsheets and everything, but what's nice about QuickBooks is they are hooked up to my various bank accounts and stuff. So when purchases are made, it automatically brings them in, and I can set up filters for oh, this is a contractor, this is equipment, this is software, right? So it definitely saves a lot of time. Plus, it spits out all the proper forms that I need to send to my my tax guy. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Sounds good to me. I don't trust people. No, you're the one that said you should hire people. QuickBooks Red 2. Only part that bugs me is credit card redemptions, like cashback rewards and such. Yeah, yeah. The only other thing is, like, I need to see if I can hook up. I have a Fidelity account where, like, the mortuary assistant payments go to. Just because I have a financial advisor that's handling that stuff from my wife's side. My family was not the type to have a financial advisor. But anyway, like, they handle that stuff, so it goes there. So I need to see if there's a way I can plug that into QuickBooks as well. I don't know if you can hook up Fidelity or not, but it's all boring businessy stuff. Business stuff, gross. I tried to hire H&R Block and did. Oh, I don't do that. Yeah. Yeah. So the guy that we use is someone that has been handling my wife's family's finances for like a generation or two. It's not like they're insanely wealthy or anything, but you know, some members of their family are better off than others, but they're all doing all right, and they all kind of go through this one guy. And so he handles our stuff now too. And I mean, he does a fairly good job of being on top of everything that needs to be done. This stuff is all kind of new for everybody. So we're kind of navigating these waters still. I mean, they know, like, they obviously know what you can do, but they're in another state. So I need to speak with people who are in Connecticut and know Connecticut things and see if there's stuff that I can do that helps with taxes and like the corporation, the structure of business that I'm creating, all that stuff, all those fun things. Oh, what textures do I have? I have wall, which is, I mean, it's a wall. I don't know what I expected. And what's this one? This one is wood. I don't know if this is actually used anywhere right now. I think it's just the stone and the ground right now in here. I don't think I use this wood anywhere, so I'll redo it. Let's open substance. I'm kind of cheating. I'm going from my certified financial. Oh. Financial. There's only 30,000 in the world. So wait, are you switching career paths? Or I'm in misunderstanding. I could be misunderstanding. I think it's this one. Okay, I see. I considered that too, to just take care of it myself, but it looked like a headache having to constantly keep up with it all. Yeah. No, it takes years just to, damn. Crazy. Okay, I've got some woody trims here, and I do plan to use these, looking at these now. But I may get rid of this right here and switch it out, because I've got other wall stuff. Yeah, so we'll just get rid of these guys. Boop. I need some metal. Three-part test, and each part takes years. Ugh, jeez. So you just kind of you slow burn getting through it. I mean, that's cool. That'll definitely be beneficial. Let's make this somewhat of a rusty-ish color. We're gonna get that, and then I'm gonna put some rust on top of it. Actually, there's a rust material. I could just throw it there and then mask it. Where are you, rust? There you are. The rust color bugs me a bit. I like me a more brown rust. Okay. Oh man. Now, if they fail part 1, they don't have to go through years of like training and stuff again, right? Or is it just that redonkulous that, yeah, you gotta go learn everything again? I imagine it's probably shorter, but... I agree, Cat. Clearly. Because here we are. Alright, we're gonna throw this little bit of metal here. Boop, boop. And then actually we'll do a wider bit like this. And then I will mask this. Black mask. Fillsies. And I am working through till about 1 o'clock, a little before. Then stream's gonna end. Wife's doing something, so we're gonna do our lunch a little later. Not too much later. A TurboTax ad. Yeah, trim sheets are where it's at. And doing Blender animations every day. You're all over the place, dude. My man's not cornering a market, he's cornering the fucking world. I mean, you know, you can do tutorials on anything. You don't have to claim you know anything. You still do the tutorial. That's what we were talking about this the other day. Thomas Brush kind of did that with Blender, where he like learned it for like a week and then did a this tutorial on like how to do Blender. And he had like half the stuff not wrong, but just really not great advice to be giving first timers. So it was interesting, but still, my point is you can do it. Tutorial on how to make a tutorial. That's interesting. This wood isn't nearly gross enough. It needs to be more gross. I'm going to take this old wood, put it right on top of it, and then I'll mask that too. I like old gross shit. I get mad a lot easier. Dude, well, yeah, that's the thing is like, I've seen tutorials where, yeah, they're covering real basic information and it's stretched out over like 20 minutes. And every like minute or so, there's a little like whoop, whoop, whoop pop up of like, subscribe, be sure to subscribe. Also, have you heard of, I've already forgot it now. That's not a good example. Skillshare. That's why for a very short period of time I did the 30-second tutorials or like minute tutorials or whatever it was, just like super quick ones, because I wanted to just have information out there. But it was still like I got to come up with something to do and get through it really quick, and probably nobody cares about this, and so I stopped doing it. I mean, people do still ask you to smash the like button. I don't hear specifically smash anymore, but I do hear variants of, you know, be sure to like and subscribe kind of things. The things that I can't stand is like the teasing of something and not actually getting to the thing, you know? It's like something interesting to you, and then they'll be like, in a moment, we'll be getting to this, but first, word from our sponsor. All right, now that we've heard from our sponsor, we're going to get into this, but first... It's really hard for me to believe that, like, people want to stick around for that. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I feel like it's very transparent when people are just like, they're not necessarily out to help. They're just trying to... It's weird because that's what YouTube is, though. YouTube is trying to get people to watch. And so I can't, like, begrudge them for that. But I don't know. It's weird. Like, obviously, you want to make content to get people to watch your content, to subscribe, and then see more stuff, so you can eventually just be doing, like, content creation, obviously. But I feel like there's a format to it that is more appealing, you know? Yeah. I think a good example, to a degree, is Mr. Beast's way of being, like... The thumbnail's like, I'm doing this crazy thing, and then they're like, hey, we're gonna do this crazy thing, and then they start on, like, how they're doing that crazy thing, right? They show a bit of the payoff. I would say a good example is, like, they had one, it's not a good video necessarily, but it's I think shows the idea, is like they had a fireworks one where it's like, we're setting off the most expensive fireworks, and then there's, like, them at the beginning with all the fireworks, and then there's like setup and stuff, right? So at least it's something to be like, oh, okay, they're not just lying to me, and now I'm intrigued, whatever it may be. Maybe you're not, but you know what I'm saying. And you know, that's why, like, the one video I did about my earnings on the subject, I think I put the numbers up right away because that's what people cared about. And then I broke down, like, how it got to that, right? And all the comments were like, I really appreciate that you put the stuff in the front. I appreciate you did that. That was so much better than the usual, like, I'll dangle this in front of you and show you at the end, you know? Show what happens at the end. Ian Hart, this is 1 minute tutorials, ruin Blender tutorials. I haven't heard of him. Does he do Blender tutorials or Blender? Yeah, okay. Looks like it's Blender. Nate Master Flash, what's up? But that's cool. What are these? All right, hold on. Sorry, I've never stumbled across this person in the well of various tutorials, so I'm curious.
They did it! They finished Star Wars. They made all of them. Now it's up to you. You're making a Star Wars fan film. That's great.
Oh, then have a great day yourself.
Free open source software, Blender. Let's do it. First, you must construct a lightsaber. You can use cardboard tube, or PVC, or bamboo, or a sawed-off broom handle. Don't tell Mom. Or angle iron. I'm gonna use an old flashlight. Take the guts out and attach the blade in there with a screw. Then I'm decorating it with chrome tape, because if I'm not using the chrome tape on this, then what? Marking your blade at intervals will make it way easier to trace when there's a lot of motion blur. Add kyber crystals to taste, and you're done. Swing that thing around! We're gonna add the effects 2 ways. The hard way, then the easy way. Hop on into Blender. So it's easy enough to get a nice lightsaber glow in Blender. Create a new emission material and crank it on up. To see the glow, make sure you're rendering in easy with bloom enabled. Look at that! However, when we load in our background video, that nice glow disappears because Blender's trying to preserve the alpha or something. So, we're gonna do something kind of cool. Create a plane and slide it on into the background. Give it a new material. Make it an emission material. And for the color,
see, this style of tutorial comes from confidence in the knowledge, right?
Check auto refresh.
Like, you can tell this person knows this information. Like, like they know it instead of, oh, I know 90% of it, 80% of it, whatever, and wrote down a script and then found the rest, and then now I'm going through it, right?
So instead, create a new plane.
So the style of this is interesting, just because I like this sort of thing. The style of this is as if you were standing at their desk and they're telling you, right?
Have an edit mode and select a vertex. Hit F3 and search for.
Because this reminds me a lot of like various conversations I've had with artists, you know, learning stuff or teaching them stuff when they're at my desk, you know.
Turn on auto keyframing and just start going through, lining it all up. Few things to speed up your process. Number 1, shrink those empties. Number 2, select the lightsaber object, and in the outliner, create a new restriction. Selectability. Turn it off so you can't accidentally select the lightsaber when you're trying to select the hooks. In fact, if you turn off selectability for everything except the hooks, you can just hit A and rotate them all at once. That's really convenient. Number 3, so you can see what you're doing, go into the object properties for the saber blade and turn the display to wire. You can turn it back on later.
See, it's really cool to see this because the like minute tutorial, like tiny tutorials I did like a few years ago was operating on the same concept of like, why would people want a 10-minute tutorial on something that is essentially something that you can talk about within a minute or two or whatever, 6 for this, right? But the idea is that you can pause and rewind and replay parts of a video, right? So why would you want this long ass thing that takes you forever when you can jump right into it and just go to the parts that you are still like, wait, what was that? And you can go back and be like, oh, okay, that's this menu here, as long as you're showing those things clearly. So yeah, this is fantastic. This is the way to do it.
With the edges of the lightsaber. This is where those marker lines on the blade come in handy. A lot of times it's best to line up every 3rd or 5th frame, then go through and refine if you need to. Hey, I dig it, but what about when it goes behind that space ladder? We need to put that space ladder back in front. Piece of cake. Duplicate the back layer, bring it to the front, and in edit mode, hit K to use the knife tool and trace out that ladder, hitting enter when you're done. Delete all the
yeah, well, that's the thing, right, Princess, is that what I was talking about, how this being a video, being quick makes sense because you can just replay it and everything. At someone's desk, you would ask questions over and over again, you know?
Plane is, you see the new image. I'm going to cover just the lightsaber and animate it sliding out of the way. Super easy. Okay, so that's the hard way. And it'll basically always work. The brute forcing it. But let's say the lightsaber isn't moving much.
Let's say you do some tracking now.
Tracking dots. Wouldn't it be cool if the computer could just connect those? Yes! Alright, so we're going to open up a new motion tracking workspace and load in our video.
Blender does so much shit.
On one of the dots, maybe scale it up.
That's one of my things about Blender is like, I kind of hate it, but at the same time, I'm super impressed by it.
Put the tracker back on the dot and keep tracking. Alright, go to Solve, Geometry, and link empty to track. And then we've got our empties right there on the dots. Alright, in the top view, let's make a cube.
Like there's some legacy stuff that still seems so pointless, like that virtual cursor thing or whatever. I fucking hate that.
Use a copy location constraint. Select that base empty with the eyedropper. Then use a stretch to constraint and select the other empty. Hey! Turn volume variation to 0 and set the rest.
Hello there, I'm sure you've been asked this numerous times. What's just on the console?
Console porting is happening right now. I can't say specifically which consoles because we're still in the process, but Switch has been completed and other stuff's been working on.
Lightsaber in Blender. You only showed a lightsaber blade. That seems unfairly semantic at this point, but let's do it. Create a cylinder. Right-click to shade smooth, and in the Object Data tab, select Auto Smooth to keep stuff crisp. There are a few techniques that can be handy for something like this. Control R adds edge loops. You can scroll up to add multiple loops. Selecting faces can be a pain, but if you hold down the Alt key, it'll select a whole loop.
I can understand that comment. I guess there's value in both.
Extruding pushes stuff in or out. To keep stuff from getting weird, hit Alt E to bring up the extrusion menu and specify a
You can turn it off. I haven't used Blender in so long, since the last time I struggled on stream.
Extrude, add loops, extrude. I for inset, E for extrude, inset, extrude. Control B
hotkey stuff though.
Make a new material, metal.
I mean, but cylindrical stuff is always like super easy and fun to make. It always looks impressive when it's done.
Done. Make another material, but make it kind of an orange copper. It's copper. I'm going to slide open a new panel and open up the shader editor.
Hey, working on the prototype, but learning about this person here who does some really awesome Blender tutorials.
And I'm not going to give it a button, because any half-brained enemy could obviously use the force to just turn it off. Instead, I'm going to install a combination lock inside the hilt that has to be force unlocked. Your opponent could probably infer the combo via force meditation, but that's when you get him! But Ian, you said, I want to make a movie where I get to hold the CG lightsaber. What? You ludicrous straw man. No, that's why I made you make one out of garbage. Unless you want to use a 3D tracking setup, which you probably don't. Just use the force. Obi-Wan, I hate you. Brother Anakin, do not attempt this, for you see, I have the ground of highness. Obi-Wan, you do not fully respect my abilities. Behold. Where'd you get all those cute little lightsabers?
Rad.
Cause Mom, I'm a grown man with a broom surplus. Why don't you ever call Tim with this stuff? The accident. Yeah, with the angle iron.
All right, Rad, yeah. I'll check him out. So here's the weird thing with me and Blender. I understand and respect its power. I do. I understand the beauty of the open source aspect. I understand what it can be capable of. But man, is it a pain in the dick to learn all the different bits and bobs. And what turned me off, we know there's been people that have been in this stream when I was using Blender for part of Outstation ages ago. And the Blender community came flooding in because they like seeing people that use Blender. Awesome. But man, are they aggressively helpful. Like, they're very angry in their help. And it was a huge turnoff. You don't just become a bro overnight. Now they have Maya shortcuts. So that's the thing. This is the other thing about Blender, which doesn't matter so much now since I'm obviously, I do my own stuff now. I don't work at studios anymore. But doing all this crazy customization to make Blender usable for you, if you lose that config, if you like do something that corrupts it, whatever, if it's gone somehow, you're dicked and you've got to set it all up again, unless you want to get used to Blender out of the box, which I usually try to get used to a program out of the box instead of getting things that turn it into something like I know, for that specific reason. This is a holdover from working in studios though. Like if I had to, a good example, there's been a couple times where I've had to go to a different studio, like a branch studio or something, and help with something. Go there, sit down and use Maya there. I know how to use Maya out of the box, right? So I can just sit down at any station and start doing work. If I have a heavily customized system, I have to bring it with me on a thumb drive or something, right? And then I've got to set up someone else's system, like their setup to my stuff. And Blender would be that a million times over. Obviously, like I said, not a big deal now. It's just, I think, a mental holdover from the industry. You have your Maya shelf on a USB. Don't lose that USB. Hope that old ass USB holds up, you know? Who say? What, the Blender community that I'm talking about? It was basically a lot of like, so I could do this in Maya. I'm not sure how I would do that here in Blender, so I'm curious. And then there'd be a lot of like, you just press this and this, you dumb fuck. Like, it's very like, it's helpful, but also really mean, because the Blender community is on a razor's edge of being ready to defend Blender at any point, right? Because they're used to people shit talking Blender. So when I'm like, I used to do this in Maya, or I used to do this in Max, or how would I do this, or this doesn't exist in it. I had something with the UV system, which I'm sure has probably been fixed now, but the UVs at the time in Blender were a huge pain. And in Maya, it was a lot easier with this one aspect, right? So I was saying that was a complaint that I had, was that Blender didn't have that. And they were like, well, you could just find a plugin that does that. Try this plugin. And I was like, okay, well, I did that plugin and it doesn't do it. And it's like, well, you could just learn this or learn that. And it's very like unwilling to understand the difficulties that a new user might have. And then it turns you, if you stick with it and you become a Blender user, this is how I believe you become a Blender bro, is you go through the gauntlet of the trial by fire, helpful community, right? Until you become bitter to the point of like, people were assholes to me. Why can't this person just learn the way I learned, right? I think it works in a circle. Yeah, Shikawa. So it was aggressive, aggressively helpful. Elevate. Yo. You don't know the delete hidden faces shortcut? Lol. Yeah, it's not even that. But when things went down the path of like, you just got to press this hotkey with this hotkey and this hotkey combo to bring up the search, to then search for the thing that you want, and then you click that, and that has a sub thing of this, and then you can do the thing you want. I'm like, fuck this program. That's not friendly at all. This stream literally times out people that say the word Blender. Oh, is that oh, what's his name? He's a character artist. Oh, I forgot his name. Nimlot? Nimlot. Is that Nimlot? A very aggressive Clippy. I see you're making a document, you piece of shit. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see if there's any update here. Hooray! There we go. Mason sub. Stack Overflow cycle, yes. Yeah, that was honestly, Shira, that was a big thing, was the fact I found like the most offensive thing to the Blender community that was coming into the stream while I was using it was that I was critical of it, but, you know, but also like, I would say great things about the great things about Blender, but I would also point out the issues and compare it to like Maya and Max and be like, this was, you know, this is a lot easier in Maya. This is how you could do this in Maya. You can't do that in Blender. You got to go through these steps, and that's a problem. It could be made so much easier, right? And that's what I was talking about earlier, how on this razor's edge of about to just like lose their shit if you say something mean about Blender. So just by my very nature, I'm rather even-keeled with like everything, right? So I'm just kind of like, I'm open to things, but I'm also okay with acknowledging that something is better or could be better or whatever. And I don't think that sat well. Mason remembers. Sure about Blender now, but it seemed like a series of plugins until you have something like Max or Maya. And exactly, Shuffle, when I got to that point, I'm like, why not just use Maya? Especially at the time where the indie license was like $150 or something. But now because of, I don't know how they check it, but now because of how well Mortuary Assistant is done, I would need to change to the very expensive version. So, and that's not the case yet because it's with the previous. It's weird how they would count it, right? But it is, again, making me be like, well, maybe I could take a look at Blender. And obviously I could just be an asshole and lie and be like, oh yeah, totally, $150, boop, you know, but I don't think the UVs are quite where you want yet. No, Nate, why? Why won't they fix the UVs? It's so dumb. I search for everything. You can work on multiple objects at once now, out of the box. Ooh. Shortcuts are a weird other level of wizardry, and I used to be all about them when I worked in Max, and then I moved to Maya when I went to Tryon and never looked back, so it's just all shelves now. Yeah, Merlin, I use Maya. I think some of the hardcore Blenders have never used other 3D software. That is very true, Nate, because a lot of these people they're hobbyists, or they use it to get into 3D modeling, and that's free, so they use that, and they learn that, and then that's it, right? Me, I've kind of gone in this other direction where I started in like 3D Studio Max, then I went to Maya, and then used Max again, and then Maya again, and now I'm like just kind of used to using different tools, but Blender is a very different beast. Like, I still use Maya's basic... Exactly, yeah. Autogen, I have no idea. Maya's basic control scheme. Yes, so do I, Nate. So you have an indie version of Maya... Not... indie version of Maya, not Maya LT. Don't you have to make over 100k for it to not be indie? Yes, megapixel. I'm a mix of shelves, hotkeys, and radio menu. Yeah, I don't use too many hotkeys in Maya. I mean, it's like radio menu, shelves. I have a customized shelf of all the things that I use, and this is funny because this kind of goes against what I was talking about before, where it's like customizing stuff, right? Though these are easy to set up because you can go to the radio menu and then it's like Control Shift and click something and it'll add it to the shelf. So it's really easy to add the things that you normally use. But yeah. Alright, so we got that. We got this old wood. I don't know if I want this red-ish wood. I want to change the color here to something maybe a little darker. I can always come back in here and add other stuff. I could, instead of doing straight trims for all of it, I could add like a glass section for windows and stuff. Sorry to introduce another person, but when you heard was showing you genius with Blender. Ooh, all right. I'll add that as well, because obviously I've expressed, I don't know what it is. There is something in me that keeps wanting to try Blender, and again, maybe it's because it is free, and then if I could learn that and have it in my tool shed, it's sort of a stress-free, like I can use this. But yeah, I don't know, and also because it is capable of a lot of different things. I have subbed. And Blender has, one of the things I really liked was Blender has a nice rendering viewport. A nice viewport. Maya LT, yep, and is now doing a Maya Creative Flex system, but it's like 300 for 100 tokens. And it's a token a day to use? How do you... the indie version, you had to actually, like, specifically go to Maya Indie. I don't even know if they do it anymore. Oh, that's Maya Indie. Yeah, they still do it. So, let's see. It's here! Get access to Pro Tools, blah, 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 blah. America, United States. So if we went here, you check, are you eligible? Right? And then it's like, let's see, your annual gross revenue from creative work must be less than 100,000. You may not use the license on any project valued over 100,000. Only one license subscription can be used per organization. And then you'd say, I'm eligible, and then it just lets you pay that way. So if you want to check it out, like I said, I think it's like 150. It's like 150 a month. Let me see. I don't know if it's going to take me to my account, so I want to... oh, it's 290 a year now, not 150 a month. It's 290 a year. And it is full Maya. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to say monthly. But, yeah, so it's definitely worth it. But like I said, you know, it's no secret. Mortuary Assistant has done well, and I'm very fortunate for that. But that also means that I am now using Maya on something that is worth more. And again, I don't know how that sits in terms of like when I activated my Maya license. I don't know if it goes to the point of the end of my Maya license and then you worry about that or what. But that's why I'm like, well, maybe I could learn Blender again. Let's throw this on here. Then we're going to change color. I don't know why I bothered doing that. Do this, maybe make it a little more brownish. Silent Hill, come on. I'll do that versus the Flex since I hate LT. Yeah. Yes, exactly, Merlin. I'm there. There are worse things in life, right? I hear the sound of an army of Blender Bros approaching the distance. They just felt it. They felt that I said I'm thinking about checking it out again. One of them just snapped awake, and they're like, "This motherfucker." They don't even know who. They're just like, "I'm angry for some reason." That's all right. I'll learn it, and then I'll become a nice person that wants to help with Blender and shit. It's me. I didn't even know you were streaming. I just felt it and I came in. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna save like some areas for strippies here, but I'm gonna make a little window spot and see how this works size-wise. Again, my texel density is 256, so I think I can get away with a good lack of space, I guess, but we'll see. Let's try this. 920 a year isn't bad. No, it's not. It's great. For Maya, that's fantastic. Grandfathered in as it seems to renew at the same amount. Yeah. The flower children?
Not familiar with Blender, but you're talking about rendering out the model through Blender? Yes. Do people model in Maya and then come and use Blender Cycles render?
I don't know. Sorry, I just saw it when you mentioned that. What I'm used to with all the people I know, they'll model something in Maya, sculpt in ZBrush, whatever, and then use Marmoset to render, which is a renderer. It does baking now too, but it is a renderer, and that's like what it does is like video game engine rendering, but super, super pretty. So that's what they use. Blender's not really used specifically to come and use the Cycles renderer. But I'm sure someone who started in Blender and that's what they use, then yeah, that's their process is to do a pretty render in there instead of use something like Marmoset. Me, I just use Unity to render things because I want it to be representative of what is actually gonna be in the game, you know? So I'm like, if I can like light it and make it look pretty in Unity, that's so much better. What was this other thing that I just... Oh, the door. Oh, that's right, I've got a door. Is this really? That's... Wow, okay. So what I can do is I can actually put a door over here under the window, too. Crazy. Just gonna rename this. We'll do trim. So see, I've got this window stuff here. Once I've made my thing, I can scale around and do whatever, but it looks like I can do essentially almost the same size dealie, and that can be a door, which means this stuff is a way too high res over here. I mean, I could make really large beams and stuff, I guess, which is nice. Learn it all, Unreal can handle it. Have you ever developed in Unreal 5? Not Unreal 5, I've used Unreal, but not Unreal 5. And I haven't used Unreal in a while, I'd have to relearn it. I should just do a pain month where I learn Blender and Unreal at the same time. Just straight masochism. I've had Marmoset for years and I haven't bothered to learn it properly. It's Unreal or Substance for now. There's a question you all can answer as an Unreal game dev. How in depth do I get with Blender? So my friends say just learn low poly. I mean, if you're not going to sculpt in ZBrush, I'd say you'd want to learn sculpting in Blender. I know Unreal can handle a lot, but it's good practice to start low poly then get more detailed. Yeah, I mean, so here's a problem. And I think it exists a lot in the indie space, which is that idea of Unreal can handle it, or computers, renderers can handle it, whatever, your video card, people's video cards can handle it, is you end up being sloppy and you get games that perform really poorly. Even if it's Unreal 5, because if you're someone who's going to go in and just add whatever, you probably also aren't aware of other performance saving things or performance crippling things, and that's going to be pretty detrimental to whatever you make. There's been games that I've seen YouTubers play that are in Unreal and they perform terribly. Like, I'm really surprised because, you know, obviously I've also been subject to the, like, Unreal does everything. Unreal's just a visual thing. It's fantastic, right? Like, I believe it's great, but yeah, it's like any other kind of tool where it's like if you don't actually know how to use it properly, you can still make bad stuff. Unreal doesn't make something good, right? About Unreal since using Unity. Yeah, that's the problem, Truffle, is like, obviously I'm used to Unity. That's what I've used since, like, since leaving Tryon up to now. So for 5, 6, 7 years ish. Yeah, like 7-ish years I've used Unity. And when I can make a game in Unity and it can look good and run fine, it's really tough to then be like, let me learn a different thing. But I'm also someone who just likes to learn new stuff. So, no. Make it look like Unreal Engine 5. Let's do it like this, I think. Actually, go up top maybe? Nah, it should be deteriorating at the bottom. Tiling shit, yeah. Maybe easier that way. More generous with that one. Okay. Houdini is great. Houdini, oh, Houdini, jeez. Takes twice as, and it's not consistent, is the problem with AI stuff. I would say is the core issue with AI stuff right now, is that it is not consistent. So if you're like, you know, and I'm thinking of like the 2D stuff. I haven't done anything with the 3D stuff really, but I'm like, you know, create a log cabin. It'll make its log cabin, and then you're like, well, now I need another log cabin or another room of this log cabin, and it could end up being completely different because it's not a defined style. It's not someone making what you're looking for. Because yeah, say you need multiple things in the same style. Could be difficult. I know it's not impossible, but yeah. Just because I want to see where things are going. I'm going to take this guy. We're just going to call this home. Oh wait, I wanted to duplicate it. Yeah, poop, hold on. I'm dumb, no! My worst fear. There. Now I can take this and bring it in. I just want to see it in Unity. See how all the different stuff works out. Oh, I just buy pop rods. Unfair. Alright, nope, that's all correct. Got this sort of faux. Oh my god. There. And then we'll bring this in. Assets, art, models, buildings. Yep. Okay, so now our little building by the player has been swappied. Okay, and then trim sheet. There's our windows. What's happened? Oh. Hey, Squid. And then we'll go ahead and put trim sheet on that as well. And then I think I can do walls on this, but I'm not certain if that's what I want to do. And I think I can do wall on this as well. Oh, let me take a look real quick. Why is this chugging? I'm doing the, yeah, that can't be like that. It's a little weird for the, yeah, look at that. The displacement just looks so wonky on there. I am working on the prototype. Look at this, though. There's so many artificial art companies. I mean, it's true. I mean, that is the problem that was, I think the main thing with it for me was just the fact that it just scour. I know they don't all do it, but like they just scour the internet for any art. And it's like that's kind of illegal. Especially, no, you can't tip the hat, not yet. Especially since I know there are some AI users out there that try to sell the results, you know. I remember there was like some lady that went to a show to sell her AI art, which felt very slimy. And I mean, there are people that try to make the argument of like, well, a person will use someone's art style and copy it to you know, draw stuff, and it's like, taking inspiration is not the same as like straight, like you're combining a lot of different skills and knowledge and approaches to sort of nurture your own way of drawing, and eventually you develop some amalgamation of all of it, whereas AI is literally taking like piece of your art, piece of your art, piece of your art, and right, it's kind of almost like photo bashing, but such an exhausting argument. Yeah, well, I'm not making a game about pirates, no. Because you're an indie dev and can't afford a decent internet speed? My internet speed is fine. It's internet stability that's the problem. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's an argument of someone who has never actually created art. And that's what makes it such a difficult and unable to ever be solved argument, I think, is the fact that, yeah, it's people who do not physically create art, like put in the years to learn and develop their own style, and like, I mean, we're specifically talking about 2D art here, right? Like learning anatomy and learning lighting and color and like all the things that you combine, all that knowledge you combine to create something. It's like you're taking a lot of different things and trying to build that with AI that, like, again, it's not like the AI takes all these things in and then it's like, well, what do I feel like drawing based on my style that I've developed, right? It's just sort of like taking things. And again, I know they're not all like that, but it just feels, there's something about it that feels a little, it's especially disingenuous to say that you have created it and sell it and stuff. I don't know, that's weird to me. AI can be a tool, and I can totally see a value in it, in like inspiration for things, because sometimes, you know, if you're just like, I've got an idea, I think I want to do this, and you use AI to kind of generate something, and then you're like, that's not a bad idea, and then you like use that to like create your own thing and a variant of it, I can see it being useful for that. I can see it being useful in like a 3D sense, where of course, I have no idea how it creaes 3D stuff. I don't think it goes and steals 3D models. Maybe it searches like Thingiverse or whatever, but I don't know. My point is there is a place for it, I'm sure, as a tool, but I don't think it is right to claim that it is a full replacement for an artist. Yet, exactly. So you're saying I can realize my dream of being an international art? Yes, you can. You too can do it. Till Sketchfab sells everyone's, yeah. AI art is something created based on visualizations and not simply stolen art kit bashed. Maybe still including watermarks and artist signatures. Yes. I like to use it for concept stuff. Yeah, like I said, I think I've got, I don't know if it's a unique view as an artist, but like I don't think it's bad, you know? But I also don't think it is art. I don't think you are creating art by typing in an interesting sentence and art gets created, you download it and then print that and sell it, right? Like I don't think that is art. But I see it as a tool to achieve art. Yeah, visual brainstorming. I'm even okay if you use it as a base to like paint and draw on top of. Again, depends on where it's from. That's kind of a sticky part of it too, because like you said, some of them still have like watermarks and artist signatures in them. You know, like that's real fucked. So that's not good. But I mean, I've worked with concept artists that photo bash, and there's some amazing photo bash artists out there where they're not, it's not all photo. They do painting on top of it as well. But like matte painting, a lot of that is photo bash, because painting a giant matte painting is very, very time consuming. Let me see if I can find an example. Okay, here we go. I think here's a good example. This is one I watched before where I was like, oh, photo bashing can be kind of cool. So, like, let's see. So road image that's been adjusted somewhat, and then soldier image, and that image, and this image. And then you can see now he's painting all this robotic shit, but some of it's like photo bash robotic shit. Some of it is stuff that he's drawing and like moving around and all that sort of stuff. And see, there's like, it's an interesting process, and like studios I've worked at have hired people that do photo bash. Just because production art wise, it's very fast. And this is the sort of thing where I see AI potentially being a useful tool, right? Where it's like, if you could do something where you can generate something and you can kind of come up with an idea. Again, this is mostly like production art, which is, I would say, different than like art you would just make for your art page or your like you might make a painting of or want to sell, right? This is something that is meant for a modeler to make something, or maybe storyboarding stuff, or all kinds of things. Yes, we are listening to Silent Hill. Hey, Watery's Heart. Good to see you again. What's wrong with spending a year on one painting? But anyway, you can see, like, this started as, like, nothing, right? But this person has a lot of, like, they have a massive photo library. And so it's this really weird thing where it's photos, a lot of photos, but then there's painting and there's lighting that's done to it and everything. And like, I've never known over my entire career how I feel about photo bashing. Like, I've seen some really cool stuff made with photo bashing. Yes. Invoke AI, Web UI for stable. Let's try and do this kind of stuff using in-painting and out-painting. Yeah. So I'm curious what y'all think about photo bashing here, because someone took these pictures, right? You're literally taking someone's image. But I don't know, maybe the artist took some of these, not these, probably. And some of them are probably just like open source. There's lots of open source stuff out there, or not open source, but like CC0 things out there. Photo bashing is illegal and you should go straight to jail. It's fine for concepting and references. This is two very different approaches. I don't feel, so this is kind of what I was talking about. I don't feel photo bashing is something that you can do and turn around and sell. But I don't think that's what photo bashing has ever been used for. At least I have not seen it used for that. I've only ever seen it, and this could just be because of my experience of only ever seeing it used for production art. Where it's like, when I need, like when the team needs a bunch of concepts in a short period of time, like photo bashing stuff can get an idea across really fast, to a quality where it gives an artist an idea of, like, fabrics and colors and all these other things, right? It's not going to be the same as a concept where you're getting lots of technical detail where you can get, more information when you're trying to model something. Yeah. Into something like sampling in music, it creates something new entirely and requires a lot of labor in itself. Yes. But yeah, in terms of selling it, it can be a bit more gray. Yes. Yeah, I'd agree, Tart. Because, yeah, I mean, you've seen this. There was 2.5 hours worth of work put into creating this image. So there is work here, right? Like there is knowledge of Photoshop, of just painting in general. There's all sorts of bits and bobs here that are skill based, right? And again, you get all these things. You do some painting, you do some color stuff, you do everything. So I think there is value here, and this is something that, okay, so this person, there we go. So see, they've made like a mesh thing here that lets you morph an object. This is something I haven't really used in Photoshop, but this 3D mesh thing is kind of neat. You know, so there's lots of stuff in here that does require actual work and knowledge. So I would say it is still very different from like the issues with AI art, but again, it's production art, not art for your gallery, you know. It could be a matte painter. I bet a matte painter could sell a great... Yeah, probably. That's where there's always exceptions to rules, right? Like if you say you are a matte painter for movies and you do photo bashing for your matte painting for a movie, which is common, and then later on somebody, whether it's you or the studio, somebody turns around and eventually sells that matte painting. Now, matte painting done on a big glass thing or whatever, like all that's not really a thing anymore. But like, say for somehow that stuff that's being sold, right? I feel that has gathered a lot of different value to it, a lot of different types of value to it. So it becomes a really weird area. Yeah, so it's weird. I don't know. So let's see, we got this little doorman here. Go ahead and... Looks like I could do something very similar. I'm going to do door. This becomes really interesting. Like I said, these trim pieces here are very big. Like what you're going to see, there's a lot more detail than I would normally use. So for something that's a 256 textile density, because a door is going to be like, let me throw a layer in this. A door is seriously like maybe this size, maybe. We were looking at it, it was pretty close to the window. So there's a lot of potential room here to do things. I could just be utilizing it improperly. Isn't copyright neat? Yeah, it's weird. I don't know, man. Because at the same time, if I am a photographer and I have a photo copyrighted, like it's mine, and then I see it used in a photo bash, like, you know, like that soldier dude, there's a lot of that guy in there, right? I don't know. I would say if you can 100% tell it is your piece, that's probably not enough work done to it, but I don't know. Something that would benefit the art community in general is having a system to clear referenced content in general. Can't remember exactly when, but if I recall, there was a rock texture used in a game, just like a basic albedo. that was grounds for legal action just because it wasn't cleared by the publisher. Yeah, that can get super weird. Nowadays with textures.com, not as big a deal. But, yeah, speaking of which, let me go there real quick and see if I have any door stuff. Metal beams. 3D scans. Let's just do door. See what comes up. Usually I have like some 3D shit too. Castle door, tavern door, door. I know it's kind of, these are kind of cool. Oh, that's neat. Textures.com so cool. Got some scans of this. That's pretty cool. So like, I mean, I could grab this. Model low poly though, there's probably a, yep, decimated. But I mean, whatever, you can decimate on your own. But yeah, you spend 100, get the decimated version, and then you model to this and bake it. It was Resident Evil's logo. Oh, I could see someone being like, "Time to cash in." Cha-ching. Let's see, I get these per month. Why not? Let's try this. I haven't actually done any 3D scans from textures.com yet. But like this shit where you could get the high and get your texture and bake it out and have something that looks nice. I think that's cool. I like it. And obviously I have a tool bag folder that I save this stuff in as well so that I can always go back and get it because I don't want to spend credits to grab it again and again and again because I forget. That's a neat door. I love photogrammetry. Super cool. Yeah, so there's some really great stuff too for ornaments. Let's see. Oh, you know what? It's under the 3D stuff. Is it decals? Oh, 3D ornaments. Here it is. So this is really cool because these are modeled like ornamental things like filigree and stuff like that. And obviously, like, you could model all this shit yourself, but to be able to go here and just be like, you know, oh, this thing's really cool. This ring thing here. You can go and you can get the 3D model for it if you want, but you can also just get the height alpha, and then you can stamp this, and it looks really good. But you could also, again, get it to bake like a normal map or something like that. I've done this for a few things. It's super powerful. Yeah, I really, really like it. It saves a whole lot of time. And I think, you know, it's funny because I feel like all this sort of connects in some way, are talking about photo bashing, AI, and this sort of stuff where it's like, these things are tools, right? Like instead of having to model all these little dudes, I know that I want to do some, you know, Egyptian wall carving stuff. I can grab these, build out what I want, and now I've got this thing in my game and I didn't have to spend all the time. So there's time-saving stuff to create a larger piece, to create a greater thing. And I think that's where the difference lies, is when it is used to create a larger thing. Yep, exactly. And that's the issue, is the AI generation tools are not that. If you had permission of everything there, then I would argue that AI is a tool in the same capacity, right? There's actually, I think it's in Blender, there's like an AI texture generator. The example I saw was like pebbles rendering, and that was really cool. I don't know where it sources from, so that's a thing. Yeah, here it is. So this right here, I believe this is the like AI generated rock texture. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, Dead Zone. I don't know, because this is photos, and that's where it becomes harder, because you don't know, like, there's a million photos on the internet, right? And a large amount of them are just CC0. They are not copyrighted. You can use them for whatever, but a lot of them aren't also. And yeah, it becomes this huge thing. But if you created an AI project that was like textures.com sort of approach, where all these things, like I remember using textures.com when it was first made, and it was just a gallery of some regular like 2D texture flats, right? And that was it. It was all like this sort of stuff. But there'd be some tiling, grass, or whatever. And it has grown over time into all this stuff. So why can't an AI system be that too? Where, yeah, it's not going to have a bunch at first, but over time, you're going to have all these things that are okay to combine and create stuff with. I suppose the problem is, like, the time itself to build the library. How do you make money off of it or get funding for it during that time? CG Textures, yep. That as well. Or did it start as CG Textures and just became textures.com? Yes, that's right. Yeah. Let's see. Anyway, I was looking for a regular wooden door, not that archway. So let's try it with a regular, like, that's metal. It's kind of cool. That's kind of neat. Let's just do this regular door. I just want to try it. Baking something neat. I mean, I know what's going to happen. I don't know why I'm acting like it's some sort of magic. It's just high poly baking the low poly, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I want to. So, and I've got all these credits that are gonna renew after my month subscription. Like, I've got a year subscription, and every month I get, I think it's 1,000 premium credits every month. So I mean, why not? Why not use it and give it a shot? So let's go ahead and let's make a new scene because I don't want to bother with all that. Oh, for real? What's happening here? Oh. No? There it is. Oh, that one's I had a button for this. Fixing this camera crap. All right, downloads. Man, that was ages ago. All right, so Decimated, there's all the images stuff that I will use to bake it when I create the high poly or the low poly. So, where am I going? There we go. So in here, main, development, projects, Patreon raw, do new folder, door. And we take all these. There we go. And then we're going to take the decimated version, bring it in, and stare at it in all its decimated glory. Do we... Oh, there we go. It's all flippied. It's flippy nips. Look at that. Photogrammetry goop. Gotta love that goop. So how do I want to do this? I could do just a low poly plane for the door, which I'll probably do. How many is this? This is that. I'm deciding whether or not I want to bake it separately in a different substance file or try to make it work in the one that I have. I think I'm going to do it separate and just bring it in as raw files into... Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. It'd be too much of a pain in the butt otherwise. Part of what's interesting here is... Let's see, can I do with materials? I'm pretty sure I can. I don't think I've done a bake with anything that other than vertex color. Normal position thickness. All mesh maps, common. Anything match. Well, I could use the material applied to it. Maybe it does just have it there. I'm honestly not sure. We'll see. We'll see. I forget. Also gotta like flip it because it's upside down and all weird. I don't know why. If I... There we go. I'm gonna take this and be like that. And that. Boop. And down to there, and that nice gross looking bottom. Love it. We have to use some good distance on this to get what we want. And then the UVs for this. And I'm actually going to set this to 6. I'm going to bake it over here. Just a little smaller. Nah, we'll keep it there. I don't want to take anything up. You used to use Blender? Oh, what about retopology and reprojecting diffuse in the original photogrammetry software? Well, I don't have that software. This is taken from textures.com. That's why this process is something that I want to do, because it's taken from textures.com instead of being used in a photogrammetry software. Why would you... There we go. I just want to give them the same pivot. I suppose, you know what? I'll just hold grid and there we go. They just got to be in the same spot. It doesn't matter. All right. Export selection. My computer, main. Development. Project. Patreon raw. Door. Low. It's just going to be a plane because we're just putting it flat on a sheet. We don't need to be crazy. And we've already got... Oh, it has a different pivot now, so I need to make sure that I throw it out here. And also, let's set up the material just because... I'm not exactly sure what Substance will do with it, so why not? Yeah, seriously. Do you reckon that you have enough clout now? No. That any game you put out in the future is... No. No. I'm still going to have to get lucky. I assume that's going to be with every game I make, no matter what. I don't feel it's the same for indie devs as it is for, like, Rockstar or Blizzard or something like that. See, pause, resub, thank you, dude. How's it going? When do you stream? I feel like I try to catch your stream all the time and you're not there. So, I know you mentioned it was like 2 days now or something. But I forget. Thanks, dude. In here, door. This texture. I love decimated shit. That's fun. And we'll just apply this. That's all we really need is the color. I don't need anything else really. And it's got the new pivot point to match my bake geo. What about... I don't need animation. Geometry. Sure. Move down to just Mondays. Okay. I don't know if I'll ever be able to catch it then, because I have a game night on Monday. That sucks. Right, Megapixel, yeah. I mean, you're never guaranteed success, right? At least you shouldn't assume that. I know you're there in spirit. Thanks, buddy. Okay, we've exported. I'm going to get rid of this just so Maya's not taking up a million whatever schmeckles of memory. And we're going to save this. We're going to make a new one, select our low poly. Then we're going to do projects, Patreon, raw door, low open, Oakley dokley. We're going to bake. Wait, where are you? Where are you located? There we go. Upside down, which is nasty. Should have flipped everything over. Whatever. Irrelevant. 2048. And we're going to use our high right here. Okay. And then our frontal distance, we're going to do 0.1. It needs some distance on it. Anti-aliasing. We'll worry about that after to see if this even works. Let's just bake and see what happens. There we go. There's a bake of it. But I don't think we got any color. Yeah, we don't have any color. Which I didn't expect to happen, but because it doesn't really... Let's see, we got normal world space, color map. I mean, I could do the ID as a... Oh, it didn't actually do it, though. I think I could use the ID for it. No. Color generator, color source, file ID, material color. Yeah. Interesting. What I want to do is invert selection. Okay, great, whatever. Because normally what I would do is do vertex color and just take that as an ID and then save that as the actual base. But what's interesting is I'm kind of surprised that there's no color. Material color should use the image associated with it. I can't do it. Mesh norms and values and null will be recomputed. Okay, whatever, who cares? Trying to see if I can be sneaky about it. Because I really feel like I should be able to use the image unless I can convert it. Hold on. Let's see. I wonder, so my next step, I have a plugin for sending things back and forth between Substance and other apps like Maya. Could. So what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to try. We're experimenting. It's good to experiment. We're going to take this, and there should be a way that I can bake it. All right. And then, shoop, there we go. Settings common. Render settings. And then it's somewhere in here. Where are you? But extension. Whoops. I need to turn off the default light. It should be an option. Render options. Enable default light. There it is. And then it's going to be, what is it? Oh, interesting. We're using mental ray. Do I have a mental ray? That would be a problem. Render. Oh, man. This is super long ago, though. Thank you for blessing me. Light and color. Maybe I could do like a transfer map kind of thing. Maybe. Hold on. Let me see if someone else has an idea for this. So I could do, yeah, let's see. It could work. Maybe transfer maps, maybe not. Will you name this game Alchemist's Assistant? If it keeps people, if it makes them recall my other games, myself pains me to think about remaking them into optimized assets. It's not too bad. It's the same as remeshing like a sculpted, like a ZBrush sculpt. It's not too bad. So there should be. I don't have mental ray though, or do I? No. Is that something I can turn on? Or is it something that I need to download? Yeah, I think it's something that I need separate. Forgot if mental ray was included or not. Our Alchemist's Assistant below the mortuary. Don't bring up that couch. No, mental ray is rendering. Because I'm trying to find a way to basically bake the texture to the vertices, and there's a way to do it, but it says mental ray was the suggested one. Can we get a couch emote? That's a good idea. I'm using color batch bake, maybe. Nix, thank you very much for subscribing with Prime. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it very, very much. Won't help me figure out what I'm doing here, but it is extremely helpful in the long run. Display color. Pre-light color set editor. Normal. Pre-light color material channel. Material blend settings. Oh, is this going like in the other direction? Set the viewport to display CPV data overriding areas of the current set material blending. Nope. Okay, so let's try. Let's look for a transfer map. Shit. Texture. 3D paint tool creates. Pick. Transfer maps. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Paint vertex color tool. An attribute map. Wait, what? Those are two different things. Okay, so source mesh. We're gonna add the selected, and our target would be the same, which is kind of interesting. So map 1 mesh. So we can't, yeah, we can't do the same sort. Source is going to be this. Output map, diffuse. Advanced options. No, I can't. Hold on. I know it exists. I know this is, yeah. So that's just exporting it to diffuse, but I want it to connect output maps. No. Paint vertex. I mean, that maybe. I've never tried paint vertex for that, but let's see. Paint vertex color tool, and then this person was saying that you could export out an attribute map and import the verts to your target mesh. Attribute maps, export. That doesn't seem correct. Because it's not taking... Like, it's not taking the material information then, is it? Transfer map, or the paint vertex tool to export an attribute map, then import it to the verts on your target mesh. That seems wrong. But, whatever. We're gonna try it. Because we gotta learn these things, right? I'm sure something exists in Blender to do this easily. Development, project, picture on raw, door, export. Sure. Okay, now I'm very curious what happens here. Because what I can do, suppose, I don't think it did anything, but because then I can import. See, yeah, there's nothing. It's all black. Wait a minute. What about this? No, what I'm trying to do... There's always something in Blender. Hey, Nix. Oh, thank you very much. That's very, very good to hear. That makes me feel awesome. So what I'm trying to do is bake out... I mean, I guess I could do a transfer to the low and export that as its own map and bring that in for diffuse in Substance. However, this would be a useful thing to know, but it's probably didn't do anything. This is probably that. Wait a minute. Oh snap! Wait a minute. This is 5. This is yeah. This is texture. This is just vertex color. Damn. All right, hold on. Interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Let's try this real quick and see what happens. We're just going to make an ID map with vertex colors right now, but then we're going to reassign, we're going to steal that ID map and instead use it as a color. Okay. This lighting is awful. Can I adjust this a smidgen? What am I looking at? Window. Views. Display settings. Is that one? Yeah, environment rotation. Anything that might get me a better lighting underneath. Like this. There we go. So now we're going to bake again. We've got everything already, but all I'm going to do is bake the ID map. Assuming that it does indeed have the vertex color on it. We're going to take vertex color for making the ID map, and now we're going to bake. All right, so now our ID map, it looks like it did it, so hold on. But first we need to find the texture itself. Okay, so there's that. Let's bring this up here. We're going to do a fill, and we're going to say that the ID map is now our base color. Damn, look at that. All right, so take note, Maya users. Just bringing your texture with the proper UVs for your high poly in here and going to paint vertex color. Then you go to import and you import your texture, which would be this right here. It will apply those colors to the vertices. That's so much easier, so much simpler. I mean, it's as detailed as number of verts, sure. I mean, there's a lot, though. It's estimated. It's also very low poly right now. Or not low poly, low resolution. So it doesn't really matter. Normally, I would be like, yeah, you are correct. And I would find another way to do it, which would be like just applying it to the plane itself, bringing the like doing a transfer or something, a bake to it on the plane, and then saving that out as a material like we were talking about earlier, something like that. But for this case, when you're doing, say you're doing a high poly from ZBrush, and you've done, this is a scenario that I can imagine where this is super useful. You do a high poly in ZBrush. Actually, no, it wouldn't matter because you'd already have the vertex colors. I guess in the terms of baking the vertex to get your color map, not so much this process. But you're in ZBrush, you make your high poly, you texture it in there, you paint it in there. You bake it as an ID map like I did just now, and then use that as a base for your color for other things you might do in Substance, right? You've already made it high res enough that you are painting what you want on it in ZBrush. Why not use that for a color base in here? But anyway, there's that on a plane. So good. We are going to export the textures. And we're going to say, we're going to get our raw stuff. Where is that? No alpha, sure. PNG, whatever. We're going to choose a location that isn't dumb. Some of these things, you know, they're kind of convoluted and wouldn't normally be how we'd use it, but learning these things make useful tools later on, right? Like knowing you can do that for something in Maya, like bringing something in. I've never had to use that before, so it's interesting to learn. And I may never use it again, but you never know. Could be useful someday. The power of learning. Oh, snap. Delithium, thank you very much for the raid. Sailor Khaleesi, there we go. Sailor Khaleesi, thank you very much for the follow. How's everyone doing? Calm, thank you. How are you, Delithium? How was your streamage? What's up? Good to see you again. What is this? This is Silent Hill still, right? Something like that. Gator Hawkeye, thank you. Okay, so we've exported, or have we not? I don't recall. No, we haven't yet. Export. Okay, so now we've got these base maps. What I can do is open up my... Sorry, we're on a roll. We're going to open up Trim Sheet. We're going to discard this. Who cares about this now? That was probably a bad idea, but whatever. Now, I'm going to bring in the exported raw files here. We really only need the color. We got the, is the height anything? Height's nothing. There's the AO. And the roughness isn't anything, really. Great, played some Valheim. Awesome. Not Valheim. Sliding off the hills with it. Awesome. Okay, there's our door, there's our normal, there's our AO. I don't know if there was a roughness or not. We could have done the exact same process of doing that vertex transfer thing and then baking it as a ID and using it for roughness. But I am working on that Patreon prototype. But we're also doing some random learning because it's never too late. It's never too late to learn. So we do that. Looks like we've got a little space that we ended up not needing, but we're going to use our ambient occlusion here, and then we're going to use our normal right here, and we can I just have it clip it? No. Can I? No. No. Ah! I just want a door. Look at this little baby door. I've got, these things are way too big over here that I'm using, which is good. It means I can fit a lot on this one sheet. But what I need now is to not repeat. We don't repeat at all. And I'm going to take this and simply, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's wherever I want to map it. Maybe it'd be fine. Whatever. Probably needs to be harder edge. Yeah. I'm already not going to be using this space, so I just want to optimize. Ho ho ho. Okay. I see what's happening here. We're going to leave that. We're going to leave it there. So we've done this. We've got our door there now. As far as roughness goes, it is not particularly unrough. Not particularly rough. Yeah. What was that? Okay. Ooh, it's 1 o'clock. I almost got to go. But let's get this in and then feel like we did something today. Learning's great and all, but yeah, sometimes you actually need to feel like you've done something. So we're going to take a levels to this and edit. Let's get our roughness look here. We want to land in the middle somewhere. Like noticeable, but still rough. Like we don't want to go full smooth black there. There we go. And then what might be kind of neat, actually. Maybe I could use the albedo on top of this. So we've got all these maps, and they don't have to be used in the things that they're baked in, right? Like we could use this albedo of the door and instead use it as a roughness. And so now I've got this on top of here. It's a very shiny door, but I can take a level, I can invert it, for roughness. Invert. There we go. So now it's very rough there, but shiny in the edges. I may actually want to not have that. I may want to have this and keep it rough there. So what we'll do now is on our roughness, we can do like an overlay of some kind, like a multiply. There we go. So now we've got shininess here, roughness here. I can completely change that with a painted layer. So let's do a white there. We're just gonna make it super shiny at first. I don't know why I did that. We'll do it like this. And try to do like, I don't know. Soft light. Hard light. Kinda. Color dodge. We could bring it down a little bit on that. So we'd still have something a little less. Then black mask. Looking good. Yeah, it's I like doing weird things that are like we did with the Vertex stuff and this, where it's like it's not meant for that. But it sure is fun to have done that. And now I know we've got metal coming through here, so I can take this and make it a little more shiny than the rest. I can do that with all these. It's like that's another one down there. Weird. And I'd say maybe that's too shiny still here for this. So I'm actually going to make it more rough. And actually, I just realized what I was doing, because the roughness map, white means rough, black means smooth. So I actually need to change this to the other direction and do like a multiply instead. Silly me. There we go. So now that'll be that. And now I can take the same thing, copy this map, because I've already made this map for those hinges. And then Oscar BP Games, thank you for the follow. And then whatever I was saying. Metal, that's right. We can copy the mask here. And we'll make a new mask. And we'll paste it into here. There we go. And so now we've got that on top. But we don't need color. We already have our color that we baked. We get rid of this. We keep the roughness and the metalness. And so now, actually not the roughness, because we did that underneath. So now we're going to make it fully metallic. There, so there's our roughness. There's our metalness. Normal. Material. And now, look, we got this nice little metal thingies there. The door itself is not particularly shiny. But it's got a little something here, but you can see it's different on these pieces of wood. So, a lot of silly work there for a low-res door, but I don't know, I like it. Yep. No, there's nothing wrong with doing it. The end result, who gives a shit? Yeah, no. It's, like, I like doing weird, like, this map's meant for this, but we use it for this instead, and then you could also combine it to do this, and there's weird stuff I've done with games that were not, like, they didn't use normal maps, but would bake normal maps and take, like, the green channel and use it to highlight certain things, something like that. Just weird stuff. It's always fun. So now let's export these textures again. And then I'm gonna go after this. I know we've gotten so much accomplished today. But still. Don't save. Alright, there's our door. We're gonna put it in the right spot. I think we can get away with a little bit more. I thought I did some bleed on these. Whatever, who cares? Okay. Look at our door, and then the handle that I put over top of it. Whee! So now, we take this guy. We're going to dupe it again, because I forgot about that. And then put it in the buildings here. There we go. Put it in place. Okay, that shouldn't be the thumb. Now we take buildings, export selection, main development, project, Neutron 1, assets, art, models, buildings. Yeep. There we go. Let's bring it in, and there's our door. Whee! Look at that. It's good. See how this came out. Got some slimy edges. It's got some metal bits there. The normals are inverted. Perfect. Damn it. Hold on. Where are my normals at? Where's the normal map? There it is. All right. Yeah, I should have known. The green, see, the green is the upward facing, and it's underneath there. So it's backwards. So all we got to do is add a levels, and we go to our green. And well, first we're going to go normal, and then we go to our green channel, and then we invert. There we go. Now it's facing the right way. Should have known it looked poopy. Export. Yep. Boom, there we go. There we go. Now look at that. Now look at it. Everybody stop looking away. So now the reason that resolution is so low is because obviously right here, I'm not like getting super close to it, so it doesn't need to be crazy high res, which means I got a 2048 that'll fit shit tons of stuff on it. I need to implement a mouse wheel to bring the camera in a bit and give it a clamp. Give it the clamps on both sides. But hey, it's a door. Was it worth all the shit we did? Nah, but it was still cool to do. Because we got a high poly photogrammetry piece from textures.com. We made the plane. We baked out all the stuff. We did the weird vertex thing. It was still fun. It was still neat. And again, doing things like that helps build up weird little tricks for future use. I like my poop river. Poop rivers. So we will have a trigger here where we go in here and it'll be like door sound, fade out, go into your little space. Okay. Exquisite poop river. I aim to please. That's my passion in life. All right. I'm going to head out. I need to eat food. Then I'm going to get back and I don't know. I've got other stuff I need to do. I will also work on this. Do some full-on work. It's harder to do like the real knee-deep in the shit work on stream. I would like to make some progress on this and get something out for patrons to actually play. So, also generate normals from diffuse and combine them with your scan data. Yes, though the normals from the diffuse, they end up looking kind of poopy. But if you combine them as like for like a detail, that could be kind of neat. I could see that. All right, it is time for me to depart. I've got to do things. Let's see. Let me you know what? I haven't done it in a while. over on the Twitch side of things. Let's see if there's anybody we can plot people at. Who do we have? Anybody? Why do I see no one? Man, I haven't been on on Twitch long enough at this time slot to like know developers that are like on at this time. Let's see. Maybe we can just give a random love. Let's see. Who's doing what? And shakedown, blah 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 blah. 2D Souls-like, interesting. Yeah, I always love streaming with everybody, talking with you and whatnot. Maybe there's an Unreal dev somewhere. We could see the other side of things. Huh? Wouldn't that be crazy? What's this person doing? Game to oh my god, Twitch. The ads, man. It's like I forgot that like there's like 6 hours of ads. So it makes sense to like, oh, there we go. Okay, this isn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. What are they doing? Looks like a first-person shooter. Maybe they got arms dangling from a camera. What is this? Oh, it's not English. I just, you know, I want to like know what they're doing. That's all. What about this? This is looks like a happy, skipping, mostly naked man. And on that, no! Perfectly. Thank you. Hello. I was wrapping up because I got lunch coming up. But we can take a little detour here. It's not quite time. Anyway, I usually like to go a little early. But, first of all, hi, sorry. I'm Brian. I'm doing game dev horror stuff. I have a game that I put out like 6 months ago now. Holy shit, it's been 6 months. When did I put it out? Hold on. August 2nd. So, August, October, November, December. Yeah, it's been almost 6 months. That's crazy. Doesn't feel that way. But anyway, what I'm working on for this is a prototype for patrons. They get to play these little games that put out, and the goal is to have a bunch of little prototypes that they get to try, and whichever ones are good might put those on itch and see if those resonate with people, and if one of them does, that might become the next like project. This one, I'm trying something a little different. I'm doing a third-person horror thing with some combat. So it's definitely different, but I've been working on the environment, and I think what I need to do next is really like do some more code work, because I did item collection system and saving that stuff, which is why there's no items to collect, because I collected them, and the save file now deletes those things when I open the game, because it's like, oh, you've already collected those. So yeah, that's what I'm working on. But these are all just boxes with some texture on them at the moment. Some terrain and wet ground. Also a character. Some 3D stuff. And this is your little hovel hidey space where you're gonna do your alchemy. The idea is you are dabbling in alchemy during the Inquisition. So the idea is you're fighting Inquisition people, demonic shit, and you're like an alchemist Batman. But it's a horror game. So that's the idea. But these prototype games, they're going to be like the Mortuary System prototype was like 5 minutes originally. And that spawned the desire for that to be the next project, which led to the demo and the full game, obviously. So that's kind of the idea behind these prototypes. But there's a ghost behind you. Get lunch outside today? It's all cold and rainy, I think. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see about that. But yes, it is getting later. I do have to go. I'm really sorry. Hello. Hi. Yes, I know. It's food time. Yes, I know. I'm hungry too. I'm sorry to suddenly randomly leave. I'm very sorry. But tell you what, you wanna know the stuff that I do? You can there you go. There's my Twitter and the Discord. It's where I put when I'm going live. That's updates on games. It's all sorts of stuff. I just put out an update for our Secret Below that has controller support, new input system, better telegraphing for what you need to do to get various endings, stuff like that. So working on all sorts of things amidst the new content update for Mortuary Assistant, which sets up new things for new stuff and all that. So lots of cool things going on. But does no one exist? No one exists to raid. Who is this person? Is this a shirtless man? Oh, well. So many shirtless people. There's so many shirtless people making games today. Or at least they've got pictures of shirtless people too. The time is you made that game? What, do you mean Mortuary Assistant? Yes. Yes.
Data.
I am the Mortuary Assistant developer. The only developer. Took 2.5 years to make. An actual free nipple game. Come on, everybody. The problem is the time. The time is Europe. Let's practice game audio and Hangout. Sure, maybe we can learn some game audio and oh my god, commercials. This is ruining it for me. New category, hot tub game development. Thank you very much, Opus. I appreciate it. That it looks, you saying it looks cool. Thank you. Okay, well, I don't know if I'm gonna find anybody in the time that I need to. We're just gonna have to do a blind one here with Matt the Small. Because I've got to, I gotta go. I gotta get food. Let's see what this person's doing. They're doing some sound.
I think it's just one of them. You just kind of got to keep looking, really.
Perfect. Okay, we've done it. Let's do a raid. Let's do that. Over on the Twitch side of things. We're gonna start up a little raidy raid. Boom. Yeah, we did it. All right, everybody. Sorry to have to leave so abruptly and weirdly and randomly, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you for hanging out and chatting, doing weird developy stuff that really was ultimately easier to do other ways, but was still fun to try and figure out. And everyone that has said such nice things about my work and what we're doing here today, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for people who subbed. You're all super duper, super fantastic. And I will be back. Special thank you to the patrons. You make the world go round. Thank you so much. I am in deep gratitude of everyone today. So I will see you next stream. Again, the social stuff is right there. You want to follow on Twitter or go to the Discord. That's where I post when I'm streaming, so you can find it there. Let's hope that Matt the Small is an enjoyable, awesome, fun developer to pass everything on to. Or just, you know, I'm sure they're fine. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you later. Thank you very, very much for being here. Bye, all.
To be honest, I don't have much stamina.